Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
A king had a beautiful garden. In the garden, there was a tree with golden apples. The apples were counted every day. When the apples started to ripen, one apple went missing every night. The king became very angry. He told the gardener to watch the tree all night. The gardener told his oldest son to watch. But at midnight the son fell asleep. In the morning one apple was gone. The second son was told to watch, but he also fell asleep at midnight, and another apple was gone. Then the youngest son said he would watch. The gardener didn't want him to go because he was afraid something bad might happen. But the son insisted, and the gardener finally agreed. The youngest son lay under the tree. At midnight, he heard a noise in the air. A bird made of gold flew down and snapped at an apple. The son jumped up and shot an arrow at the bird. The arrow did not hurt the bird, but a golden feather fell from its tail. The bird flew away. In the morning, the son gave the golden feather to the king. The king called his advisors, and they all said the feather was worth more than anything in the kingdom. But the king said, "One feather is not enough. I need the whole bird." The gardener's oldest son decided to find the bird. He walked a short way and saw a fox sitting near the forest. He wanted to shoot the fox, but the fox spoke. "Don't shoot me," the fox said. "I know you want to find the golden bird. I can help you. You will reach a village tonight. You will see two inns. One will look beautiful and the other will look poor and dirty. Stay at the poor inn." The son thought, "What does a fox know?" He shot an arrow at the fox but missed. The fox ran into the forest. The son kept walking and reached the village. He saw the two inns. The first inn was full of happy people singing and dancing. The other inn looked very old and dirty. The son said, "I won't stay in that dirty place." He went into the nice inn, ate, drank, and forgot about the golden bird. The oldest son didn't come back. After a long time, the second son went to find the bird. He also met the fox, who gave him the same advice. But when he saw the two inns, his older brother was in the window of the nice inn and told him to come inside. The second son also forgot about the golden bird. After more time, the youngest son wanted to find the bird. His father didn't want him to go because he loved him and was afraid something bad might happen. But the youngest son insisted, and his father let him go. The youngest son also met the fox, who gave him the same advice. The youngest son thanked the fox and did not try to shoot it. The fox said, "Sit on my tail, and I will take you there quickly." The son sat on the fox's tail, and the fox ran very fast. When they reached the village, the youngest son listened to the fox. He stayed at the poor inn. The next morning, the fox came back and said, "Go straight until you find a castle. Soldiers will be sleeping outside. Do not wake them. Go inside the castle. You will see the golden bird in a wooden cage. Next to it there is a beautiful golden cage. Do not take the bird out of the wooden cage and put it in the golden cage. If you do, something bad will happen, The fox stretched out its tail again. The youngest son sat on it, and the fox ran very fast toward the castle. The young man arrived at the castle gate, and everything was just as the fox had said. He went inside and found the room where the golden bird was in a wooden cage. A beautiful golden cage stood nearby, and the 3 golden apples were lying close to it. The young man thought, it would look strange to take such a fine bird in this old wooden cage, so he opened the door of the wooden cage, took the bird, and put it into the golden cage. But as soon as he did, the bird let out a loud scream. The noise woke up all the soldiers, who caught the young man and took him to the king. The next morning, the court decided his punishment. The king said, "You will die unless you bring me the golden horse that runs as fast as the wind. If you bring me the horse, I will give you the golden bird." The young man was very sad and worried as he set off again. Suddenly the fox appeared. "You didn't listen to me," said the fox. "Now you see what happened. But I will still help you if you follow my advice. Go straight to the castle where the golden horse is. The horse is in a stall, and the groom is sleeping next to it. Take the horse quietly, but make sure you use the old leather saddle, not the golden one lying nearby." The young man sat on the fox's tail, and they raced off quickly. When they arrived at the castle, everything was as the fox had said. The groom was snoring, his hand resting on the golden saddle. The young man saw the horse and thought, "This horse is so beautiful. It would be wrong to put an old leather saddle on it. I will use the golden one instead." As soon as he touched the golden saddle, the groom woke up and shouted loudly. The noise woke up the guards, who captured the young man and brought him to the court. The court said he would die unless he brought the beautiful princess to the king. If he succeeded, he would get the bird, the horse, and the princess. Feeling very sad, the young man left again. The fox appeared once more. "Why didn't you listen to me?" asked the fox. "If you had, you would already have the bird and the horse. But I will help you again. Go straight to the castle where the princess lives. At midnight, she will go to the bathing house. When you see her, give her a kiss and she will agree to leave with you. But don't let her say goodbye to her father and mother." The young man sat on the fox's tail, and they sped off. When they reached the castle, everything happened just as the fox had said. At midnight, the young man met the princess on her way to the bathing house. He gave her a kiss, and she agreed to leave with him. But she begged him, crying, "Please let me say goodbye to my father." At first, the young man refused, but she cried and begged even more. Finally, he said yes. But as soon as the princess reached her father's house, the guards woke up and caught the young man. The king told him, "You will never marry my daughter unless you remove the hill that blocks the view from my window. You have 8 days to do it." The hill was so big that no one could possibly move it. The young man worked hard for 7 days but made very little progress. On the 7th day, the fox appeared and said, "Lie down and rest." I will do the work for you." The next morning the young man woke up, and the hill was gone. He went to the king and said, "The hill is removed. Now you must give me the princess." The king had no choice but to keep his word. The young man left with the princess. Then the fox came to him and said, "Now we will get everything. The princess, the horse, and the bird." The young man said, "That would be wonderful, but how can we do it?" The fox said, "If you listen to me, you can get everything back. When you go to the king and give him the princess, say, 'Here she is.' The king will be very happy. They will bring you the golden horse. Climb onto the horse, and when you say goodbye, shake hands with everyone, but shake hands with the princess last. When you do, quickly lift her onto the horse behind you. Then, kick the horse and ride away as fast as you can." Everything went as the fox had said. Then the fox told him, "When you reach the castle where the bird is, leave the princess with me at the door. You go in and show the king the golden horse. The king will bring out the bird. Stay calm and say you want to see if it's the true golden bird. Once it's in your hand, ride away." This also happened just as the fox said. The young man took the bird. The princess climbed back onto the horse, and they rode into a great forest. There, the fox said, "Please kill me and cut off my head and feet." The young man refused. So the fox said, "At least listen to my advice. Be careful about two things. Never save anyone from the gallows, and never sit by the side of a river." Then the fox ran off. The young man thought, "It's easy to follow that advice." He rode on with the princess until they came to the village where he had left his two brothers. There he heard a lot of noise. When he asked what was happening, the people said, "Two men are about to be hanged." As the young man got closer, he saw that the two men were his brothers. They had turned into robbers. He asked, "Can't they be saved?" The people replied, "Only if someone pays all their money to free them." Without thinking, the young man paid the money and saved his brothers. Then they all traveled home together. On the way, they passed the forest where the fox had first met the young man. It was cool and pleasant there. The brothers said, "Let's sit by the river and rest. We can eat and drink." The young man agreed, forgetting the fox's advice. While he wasn't paying attention, his brothers pushed him into the river. Then they took the princess, the golden horse, and the golden bird and returned to the king. They told the king, "We worked hard and won all these things." The king was happy, but the horse wouldn't eat, the bird wouldn't sing, and the princess cried all the time. The youngest son fell to the bottom of the river, but luckily, the water was almost gone. Though his body was hurt, he was alive. The riverbank was steep, and he couldn't climb out. Suddenly, the fox appeared again and scolded him. "I told you not to sit by the river. If you had listened, this wouldn't have happened. But I won't leave you here. Grab my tail and hold on." The fox pulled him out of the river. Then the fox warned him, Your brothers want to kill you if they find you in the kingdom. You must be careful." The young man disguised himself as a poor man and went secretly to the king's court. As soon as he entered, the golden horse began to eat. The golden bird started to sing, and the princess stopped crying. The young man told the king the truth about his brothers. The king punished the two brothers, and the youngest son was reunited with the princess. After the king died, the young man became the new king. One day, a long time later, the young man walked in the forest. He met the old fox again. The fox begged him with tears, "Please, kill me and cut off my head and feet." Finally, the young man agreed. As soon as he did, the fox turned into a man. He was the long-lost brother of the princess, who had been under a spell for many years. They all lived happily ever after.